After 53 shows that I have seen this year and over 150 hours that I've spent at the theater, the time has come for me to reveal my top 5 shows of the year, which you can still see in 2025. And this is what this video is about. So let's start. If you're subscribed to my channel, then you know that this year I was on a mission to see 52 shows, which means 1 show a week. And I'm so pleased to report that I have managed to complete my challenge. And I'm going to be continuing to do this next year. So if you like the sound of it, then make sure to subscribe so you can see my reviews, London theatre tips, and all things London here. I'm pleased to say that the position number 5 is occupied by The Devil Wears Prada. This musical is a new musical which premiered in London in October 2024. As you might be familiar from the movie, the story follows Andy, who joins fashion magazine Runway as a personal assistant to Miranda Priestley, who is the editor-in-chief, and she's the powerhouse and a fashion icon everyone is a little bit scared of. Andy goes on a journey of not liking or being interested in fashion and the world of glamour all the way to becoming part of it, and then realizing that she just doesn't really like it as much as she thought she would, and it's not worth her time and attention, so she quits. And this is a story about love, career, fashion, about all these different things of realizing who you truly are and what matters to you, and how the world around you might shape you, and ultimately you might decide that it's not for you. So this story is really fun and entertaining to watch, and the musical is the same. The music is written by Elton John, so you'd be pleased to know that there are a few signature Elton John ballads, but also some other pop songs that are really entertaining to watch with great choreographies and even better costumes. The costumes in this musical are out of this world, and also the set design. It really brings this world of fashion closer to you, and the cast is, oh my god, so beautiful. I've never seen the cast that is as beautiful as this one. And while we're talking about the cast, you can see Vanessa Williams in the current production of The Devil Wears Prada, who you might know from Desperate Housewives, and she's amazing in this role, as well as Georgie Buckland, who's playing Andy, and she's absolutely brilliant. But the person who really took me by surprise and I was so impressed by is Amy DiBartolomeo, who really brought the character of Emily to life with so much humor and fantastic elements, and I really think that she is the star of this show. The Devil Wears Prada is a really fun show to go and see. It is lighthearted. You can enjoy it with your girlfriends or your mom or just the whole family. It's really easy to watch and entertaining, so I think it's good fun to go and check it out. There's plenty of time to see The Devil Wears Prada because it's on at the Dominion Theatre until October 2025, and tickets go for as low as £20. So what are you waiting for? We're swiftly moving to the position number 4, which is reserved for the most unique production that I have seen in 2024, and that is Starlight Express. Starlight Express is a one-of-a-kind musical written by Andrew Lloyd Webber in 1984, and it was revolutionary then as much as it is now. The story follows a steam engine Rusty who is in a competition with other electronic and diesel trains, and this is all happening in a boy's dream. And the best thing about this musical is it doesn't matter that it's a dream and that it's about trains racing, it just goes all in, and it's very camp, it's very innovative in terms of the set design, and the most unusual thing is that the cast is on roller skates all the time, and this has been the case when the musical premiered as it is today. And when I tell you that this is the set like no other set that I've seen in a musical or a play, I'm not exaggerating, because they have literally built out the racing tracks for the trains. When you're sitting, depending on where you're seated, you can see cast whizzing by you and literally competing, and this is all so flawlessly executed because they're not crushing into each other at any point, but they're really moving at a really fast speed, and it is so fascinating to watch it. And while it is a story about trains, which is kind of a little bit out there, like you're not necessarily invested in it as much, you become invested when you learn about the characters and also when you see them on stage. Also, some of the numbers in this musical are very loud and out there, and just overall it's a very, very energetic watch. I would say that this is definitely suitable for taking your kids to, but also if you're a fan of this musical or just want a little bit of a different type of experience, then this will definitely be the one that is worth seeing for you. You can expect to leave the Troubadour Theatre singing the songs such as Light at the End of the Tunnel, Starlight Express, and just feeling really uplifted. And also from the moment you enter into the theatre, you are part of this immersive experience because there are disco balls and different lights and merch which you can buy, and all of it really sets the mood for the musical so well. One thing to note is that there are a few different sections where you can sit, one that is the closest to the stage, and if you sit there, this will kind of cause you to miss what's happening at the back. Then there is one in the middle, but you're still in between the tracks, and that's where I was sitting, and I think that that's probably a really good one because you're close enough to the stage but also like far enough to see the action of the races happening. And then the last section is actually all the way at the back where you can see the whole racing tracks, but then maybe you're a little bit more removed from the center of the stage. Overall, it's a really fun and engaging watch, and definitely an iconic piece of theater which you have to check out if this sounds like something you might enjoy. You can see Starlight Express until October 2025 for as little as £30. We've got to the position number 3, and it is time to talk about the most quintessentially British musical which you can see in London in 2025, and that is Oliver. This is the newest adaptation of this well-known musical. It's a classic of musical theater, and it's also a classic when it comes to the story because Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens is one of the most beloved novels, and it's taking you on a journey of Oliver, who is an orphan and is fighting for better life. But that's not an easy journey for Oliver. He ends up in all different kinds of situations with different people who are not having the best intentions at their hearts, and he needs to deal with all of it as a 10 or 11-year-old boy. There are so many adaptations of this story, including the movie released in 1968, which is really popular, and this is all based on Lionel Bart's version of the story and adaptation, which includes some of the most famous songs such as Where Is Love, Consider Yourself, I'd Do Anything, and so many amazing musical theater songs which are classics now. This latest adaptation of Oliver the musical has some of the biggest names in musical theater history behind it, such as Cameron Mackintosh and Matthew Bourne, who did the choreography for it, and it is just one of those productions which you have to see if you're coming to visit London. You will be immersed in this story fully, and you will just get to experience it in the way that it deserves to be experienced in London, in the heart where Charles Dickens created this story. While the story and life of Oliver Twist isn't the happiest one, this musical is full of energetic and amazing tunes and generally uplifting messages about life, about different people you meet, and how sometimes love can conquer it all. Ultimately, it is a feel-good musical which you can see in London until September 2025 for as little as £20. We've got to the position number 2, and I'm sure you won't be surprised when I say to you that this is occupied by Hadestown. I have been very vocal on this channel about my love for Hadestown and the journey that I've had with this musical. It did not start as something that I loved so much, but it definitely turned into something which I now adore, and it is one of my favorite soundtracks, and dare I say one of my top 5 musicals of all time. So the story of Hadestown is based on quite a few different Greek myths, including Orpheus and Eurydice, Hades and Persephone, Hermes, Fates. So there are quite a few different myths that it would be good for you to familiarize yourself if you're planning to go and see it, because then it's going to elevate the meaning of this show as much as possible. On a very surface level, this is a story about love between Orpheus and Eurydice and how far they're willing to go for each other, but it is also a story about poverty, about art, about environment, about so many different things. And I feel that with this musical, everyone will get something different that will resonate, and they will get a slightly different interpretation from someone else. It's truly unique and very open to interpretation, and for you to pick what resonates the most from the musical, which I think it is the creative genius of this piece. This musical is written by Anais Mitchell, who firstly released it as a concept album, so it's a very much music-first approach which you can feel when you go and see Hadestown, because there isn't any spoken word and it's all music, this beautiful jazz and blues sound, and it is really powerful the way that the story unfolds in front of you. This musical was nominated for 14 Tony Awards and it won 8 out of them, including Best New Musical and Best Original Score. So when it comes to top tier musicals which you can experience in London in 2025, Hadestown is definitely the one to see. You can see Hadestown until September 2025 for as little as £20. And the time has come for me to reveal the position number 1, which is occupied by a musical that I had literally zero expectations for, because I'm not even a massive fan of this story, but what they did with this musical is pure magic. It is The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. I can can easily say that this is one of my favorite new musicals that I've seen this year. It is so beautiful, it is so wholesome, and it is a musical that will resonate with you if you like the movie and if you like what this story really brings to life. This is a famous story by F. Scott Fitzgerald, which was also adapted into a movie with Brad Pitt and Cate Blanchett, which was a worldwide success, and a lot of people really resonated with it. And then this musical takes it to the next level because it really reinvents this story in a truly unique way. As you might be familiar, the story of Benjamin Button is about a man who was born as an old man and then he ages in reverse. Basically, he's becoming younger with every day, with every year. And this is very much a story about what truly matters in life and how to determine that, and how does age play part in all of this, and does it at all? So this story is truly unique when it comes to how it makes you feel and think about aging in life. But what they did with this musical is that they reimagined the story, and now it is set in Cornwall in a seaside village, and it follows Benjamin on his adventures in this Cornish village where he is growing younger, learning about himself, falling in love, making friends, spending time at the sea, going to the war. The most amazing thing about this musical isn't its story or fantastic music, it is the cast. The cast is made out of amazingly talented human beings who are all instrumentalists, dancers, actors, all at the same time, and they're all on stage for majority of the time. And it is incredible to see how an ensemble can really switch the roles so easily and develop such amazing chemistry on stage and take you on a journey of this really heartfelt story. I was so impressed by this musical and I cannot recommend it enough. The catch is that this musical is on until March, so you only have a few months to see it. I really hope it gets extended or that it gets another run, which I have no doubt that will be the case at some point. But if you are in London until March, then make sure to check it out. The tickets go for as low as £40, and I personally managed to get a ticket, 3 rush tickets on TodayTix, so check that out because you might be able to get a slightly cheaper ticket that way. But if there is one musical that you are going to check out at the beginning of this year, then make it The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. This concludes the list of my top 5 favorite shows from 2024, which you can still see in 2025. If you're wondering how you can get cheap tickets for these shows, then check out this video where I'm sharing my tips and tricks on the best deals in London.